go into it.
Yes.
Because there's a place there like dropping a stitch, we might say.
Yes.
If he doesn't get past that initial shock, then he is not going to go into it.
No.
Yes.
So we talked, I spent hours, we discussed, we went into it, gradually so. He said, quite right. So, sir, unless we understand the nature and the structure of appetite and desire, which are more or less same, we cannot understand very deeply pleasure.
Yes. I see why you've been good enough to lay this foundation before we get to the opposite side of the coin. Yes.
Because pleasure and fear are the two principles that are active in most human beings, in all human beings. And they are, that is reward and punishment. Don't bring up a child through punishment, but reward him. This is the psychologists are advocating some of this.
Yes. They're encouraged by the experiments on Pavlov's dogs.
Dogs or pigeons or ducks.
Right.
Geese. Do this and don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless we understand fear, understand in the sense, investigate, see the truth of it, and go, if the mind is capable of going beyond it, to be totally free of fear, as we discussed the other day, and also to understand the nature of pleasure. Because pleasure is an extraordinary thing. And to see a beautiful thing, to enjoy it. What's wrong with it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But
see what is involved in it.
Right. The mind plays a trick there. I say to myself, I can't find anything wrong with it, therefore nothing's wrong with it. But I don't really believe that necessarily.
No.
And I was thinking a little while ago when you were speaking about the attempts through power to negate desire. Through power.
Because search for power, that's
right.
It. Negating desire is search for power.
Would you be saying that one searches for power in order to secure a pleasure that has not yet been realized?
Yes.
I understood you well.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, it's a terrible thing.
But it is a reality.
Oh, it's going on.
It's going on.
Oh, yes. But we're taught that from children.
That's just it, sir. So, pick up any magazine, the advertisements, the half-naked ladies, women, and so on, so on. So, pleasure is a very active principle in man, as fear.
Oh, yes.
And again, society, which is immoral,
yes,
has said control. One side, the religious side is control, and commercialism says don't control, enjoy, buy, sell. You follow? And the human mind says, goes, it's all right. My own instinct is to have pleasure. I'll go after it. But Saturday and Sunday or Monday or whatever the day it is, I'll give it to God. You follow, sir?
Yes.
And this game goes on. Forever it has been going on. So what is pleasure? You follow, sir? Why should pleasure be controlled? Why should, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, please, let's be very clear from the beginning that we are not condemning pleasure. We are not saying it must be, you must give reins to let it run. or that it must be suppressed or justified. We are trying to understand why pleasure has become such extraordinary importance in life. Pleasure of enlightenment, you follow, sir? Pleasure of sex, pleasure of possession, pleasure of knowledge, pleasure of power.
Heaven, which is regarded as the ultimate pleasure,
of course,
is usually spoken of theologically as the future state.
Yes.
Which, this is to me very interesting in terms of what you've been saying. And even at the level of gospel songs, we hear, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there when it's called up yonder.
Correct.
Which means at the end of the line. And then there's the terror that I won't be good enough when
that.
Yes. So I'm tightening up my belt to pay my heavily insurance policy on Saturday and Sunday, the 2 days at the weekend that you mentioned. What if you got caught from Monday through Friday? Yes.
So, pleasure, enjoyment, and joy. Sir, there are three things involved.
Three things.
Pleasure, enjoyment, and joy. Happiness, that is, joy is happiness. Ecstasy, the delight, the sense of tremendous enjoyment. And what is the relationship of pleasure to enjoyment and to joy and happiness?
Yes, we've been moving a long way from fear.
Fear, that's
yes.
right.
But I don't mean moving away by turning our back on it.
No, we have gone into it. This is the movement from that to this. It's not away from.
No.
Pleasure. There is a delight in seeing something very beautiful. Delight. If you're at all sensitive, if you're all observant, if there is a feeling of a relationship to nature, which very few people unfortunately have, they stimulate it, but the actual relationship to nature, that is when you see something really marvelously beautiful, like a mountain with shadows, valleys, and the line, and it's something, a tremendous delight. Now see what happens. At that moment there is nothing but that. That is beauty of the mountain, lake, or the single tree on a hill. That beauty has knocked everything out of me.
Oh, yes.
And at that moment, there is no division between me and that. There is a sense of great purity and enjoyment.
Exactly.
Now then, see what takes place.
I see we've reached a point where we're going to take a new step. I feel it coming on. It's amazing how this thing has moved so inevitably, but not unjoyfully.
No.
Not unjoyfully.
No.
In our next conversation, I would just love to...
We are going on.
Yes.
Is it time?